Hi, I'm Kat, marketer turned brand storyteller.
And I'm Candace, educator turned entrepreneur.
And you're listening to
Not Nice, Clever.
We're two introverts who speak on stages around the country and work with top personal brands who also unapologetically require 24 to 48 hours of recovery time on the couch in our favorite sweats. All Netflix and no chill.
And to be clear, we're not quiet or nice. Together, we're redefining what it means to be an introvert who means business. It's time to show up and show off. Are you in? In today's episode of Not Nice Clever, we are talking about how to use personal branding to grow your business. This is a fun topic for us today because so many people tell us that their business isn't about them. Therefore, they shouldn't show anything about themselves or who they are. But Kat and I are in the business of helping personal brands. So most likely, if you're here listening to Not Nice Clever and you have a service-based or a sales-based business, spoiler alert, your business is related to your personal brand and your personal brand is going to help you build your business. So let's get into it, Kat.
Yes, I know. That is the rebuttal that we hear so often. And we get it. We get it. Like decades of examples in history, there's only ever really been the corporate brand, the company brand. But the rules of the game have changed. Digital is here. Social is here. There is new information. We want you to use it to your advantage. And so if you are thinking about how to use personal branding to develop and grow your business, one of the things that we love about what personal branding gives you is that it makes you distinct and stand out in the minds of your audience. So many times we've heard people say, I don't want to contribute to the noise. I don't want to just put out content. I don't want to do that. Oh my gosh, Candace, how many times have we heard this? The market is so saturated.
I'm so over that. Stop
I know.
talking to me about a saturated market.
It's
No.
not a real thing at all. I mean,
No.
maybe it is if you're going about it without personal branding. But what we love about personal branding is because it allows you to highlight all of your strengths. It allows you to build community and partner with people in areas where you're not as strong, right? So that you can be better and be stronger together. And it also highlights what makes you unique. And here's another question. How do I share my value prop? What's my value prop? Like, that's another question we get a lot. And people just
Or I'm boring. My life is boring.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
boring. There is nothing interesting about me. To which I
Mhm.
say, what? Why? Why is your life boring? Why are you letting your life be boring?
Also, though, compared to who? Are you comparing it to like Brad Pitt or Kim Kardashian? Because then, yes, of course your life would be boring. Candace's life is boring. My life is boring also by
No.
comparison. But like, let's level set here. Who are you comparing yourself to?
Right. I mean, also remember that people watch people power washing driveways on YouTube. So I don't know. Is your life more boring than power washing? I don't know.
Or they watch people put on makeup.
Yeah.
They watch people get ready together. Like, y'all.
They watch people paint. They watch people mow their lawn. Like literally, there are videos on everything.
Mm-hmm. And the views back us up, guys. So I really feel like my life is boring is just an excuse not to put yourself out there, which is the second thing that personal branding gives you in helping grow your business is making you more visible and making you more easily recognized, which is a great thing we know in terms of business, but can really sometimes trigger people's fears or hesitations. Right? Like, I don't know if Candace, have you ever had to navigate that as you've grown?
Fear and hesitation? No, me never.
I mean, about being more visible and like dealing with everything that goes around with that.
Well, the pros outweigh the cons. So I always joke that it's easier for me to make a video when I see those deposits in my bank account because I'm just like, of course I'm going to make a video. And even if I have a troll or two or there's a hater or someone in my real life thinks that I think I'm cooler than I am, I don't care because literally every time I get a deposit in my bank account, I'm supporting my family and my future goals, and I just literally could care less about anyone who might be hating because it's working.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not yet at that point, There are things that are telling you that it's working that are not monetary in the beginning. Those things are people talking about it. If you go into the office and someone's like, oh, so you're making videos now. Oh, I saw you on TikTok. Oh, so and so said that you're doing XYZ. That means it's working, even if they're saying it in kind of a shady way.
Mhm.
Even if they're like, okay, you think you're cool. You're like, great, please keep talking about me. It's like that song, let's give them something to talk about. Every day you carry a virtual stage in your pocket or in your purse. And if you decide to get on it, you're likely going to connect with way more people than you would have if you weren't on it. And if people start talking about you and talking about how you're spending your time and what you're doing and who you're working with and what's next in your business, that's definitely going to lead to more business.
Yeah. You could have the greatest business in the world. You could be the smartest person in the room. You could have the cure to terrible things that would make the world a better place. It doesn't matter if nobody knows you exist, if nobody sees value in you, if nobody believes that you actually can deliver on the promise you have, if nobody trusts you because they don't know you. So
Yeah.
that's why visibility, it starts there. Like, you want to help people, they have to know you exist.
One of the things that irks me, and it irks me so much that it makes me like really passionate about personal branding
Yes, I saw your eye
is,
just twitch now too, though.
oh gosh, yeah, it's getting to me, is when I have a consultation with someone and they're annoyed at a real estate agent in their market. Typically, I work with realtors. So, a real estate agent in their market, they're like, so and so is like making all these videos and they're going viral and they don't even know anything about real estate. They just started. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that they have better marketing than you. They are
Right.
taking over market share in your community because they decided to push record even before they understand what they're talking about? Well, what that tells me is that you, with all your experience, knowledge, and expertise, are losing out because you're scared. And that is stupid.
Yeah.
It's just like if you have more knowledge and you have more expertise, but no one knows, you're the problem.
Yeah. It's like if a tree falls in the forest and doesn't make a sound, right? No, I hear you. And let's like look, I go back to my original point that I shared a few minutes ago. What you have been doing worked for decades. Rules have changed. Adapt or be left behind.
But also, you have the ability to make strong relationships. You have a track record of that already. You have
Yeah.
a track record of all of these transactions that have gone well. You have access to probably a ton of people who would happily write reviews for you, happily refer you. It's your responsibility then to leverage it in a digital manner in
Mhm.
2024 that's going to allow you to amplify that because that new agent doesn't have all of those people who could say how amazing that they are,
Yeah.
you know?
You put the two of you in the same room and quiz them or test them on what their market strategy would be for bringing a particular home to market to sell it. You would have endless ideas and
Mhm.
stories and examples. And the other guy would have to say, if I were him, I would say,
Yeah.
well, I'm on a team with somebody who knows a
Yes.
lot, right? That's what they would
Yes.
say. But then if I'm the
Yes.
seller, I'm like, well, then I'm just going to work with a team lead or I'm going to work with a dude who actually has all the experience because he's
Absolutely.
communicated it in a very clear way, right?
I'm glad that you brought that up because if you are a newer person in your industry, I'm not telling you not to show up. I'm saying absolutely develop your online marketing
Mhm.
and leverage the experience of people on your team or people within your community that can help you with the actual whatever transaction if you're in real estate, right?
Right.
Absolutely leverage the expertise and experience of people who are already working in your industry. And I'm not telling you not to show up. I'm just
Mhm.
saying for those senior agents, and when I say senior, I mean veteran agents, right? Who are still refusing to show up, then I would like you to check yourself and
Before
not
you
be
wreck
mad at
yourself.
the new agent who is
Mhm.
leveraging everything that they can to build their business because you were that person once.
I know. I was just thinking about that. What analogy or what reframe? What reframe? Oh, okay. Here's one that might resonate with those who've been in real estate over 10 years, right? Like we're speaking to that
Mhm.
audience. That probably wasn't your first career.
Mhm.
What was your first career? Why did you leave that career? What did your 9 to 5 working for the weekend colleagues say about you when you left that career for the insane world of real estate? Pre Netflix, pre digital, pre all of that, okay? You were the who do who do they think they are? Hotshot. Oh, they're just going to go and make way more money and like, turn their nose up at a 401k or a pension, right? Like I'm trying to think about like
Yep.
who were their haters when they were the young hotshots? Because
Mhm.
y'all, it all comes full circle.
It really does.
But the benefit is that also they can completely figure it out. But Candace, you've brought this up. Like, I think the real issue is not that like they don't want to or that they know how to. It's just admitting that what has gotten them to where they are is not going to keep them in the game and they have to completely change the plan.
I'm trying to figure out how to explain that it's not necessarily that you have to completely change the plan. It's
Hmm.
like you have to change the packaging,
Oh, I like that. Which again, personal branding.
right? Personal branding. Yeah. Like it's the way you delivered your experience and expertise and your value
Hmm.
looked different 5 or 10 years ago.
It was in magazines. It was
Mhm.
in the newspaper. It was at the, community event or neighborhood block party, right?
Yes.
It was at the like
Exactly.
cork board at the community swimming pool where you would like put your business card or your flyer, right? And you tear off a
Yes.
number to call the person that was like babysitting service, right?
Yes.
That's how it was.
And now we're taking the conversations that you had during that time, we're taking the information that you shared during their time, and we are digitizing them. So, Kat, you've heard this a million times from me that my favorite definition of personal branding
Mhm.
is Rory Vaden's definition, which is your personal brand is the digitization of your reputation. And if you have a long-standing reputation within your community that is a great reputation, then it's your responsibility to learn how to digitize it. That means you're probably going to go all in on Facebook and sharing there, or
Mhm.
LinkedIn, or a YouTube channel, or something that is 2024 marketing. Maybe it is
Not even just 20, just post 2000s
just,
marketing. Like
yes,
let's
yes, exactly, exactly. And your responsibility is to take the reputation that you've built and convey it using these new tools or this new package, if you will.
Mhm.
It's all the same stuff. I think that there's this huge disconnect when it comes to showing up online. It's like you pick up the phone every day and you have conversations with
Right.
colleagues and clients and you answer questions with ease.
Mhm.
Now, how do you just demonstrate that in the online space and not think of it as something different, but rather an extension of the work that you're already doing?
Mhm. I was on with a client this morning and she's a newer agent, so she would be that newer agent example that we had just shared, and she was doing a giveaway with a local pet store, and the video was well shot if it were a highly produced video on YouTube. And she was, reading off of talking points and just felt very stiff. And I didn't get to see any of her amazing personality that I was seeing on our session together. And I told her, I was like, hey, I want you to reshoot this video with your phone and pretend you're FaceTiming me as you walk through the pet store. And you tell me,
Mhm.
I'm your girlfriend. We're catching up over FaceTime because we're busy. We got our lives going, and I want you to tell me the 3 things you love most about that pet store and what you're going to buy for Booker. Booker's her dog. And she was like, oh, I was like, FaceTime me. It's personal.
Yep.
It's social. It's
Mhm.
there's a digital barrier in place now. So that's what makes it even more important to be yourself and to be person first and to be relatable. And I know
Accessible.
accessible. And I know it doesn't always come naturally to people, but also neither did walking. And we all seem to have figured that out as babies. So if we can figure that out, if you can figure out surviving through recessions, if you can figure out surviving high school, okay, you can
Yeah.
figure out how to use Instagram. You got that.
Yeah.
Like people are so much more capable than they want to allow themselves to be sometimes. That's where I get really frustrated.
It's for me, it's like people want to go from 0 to 100. They look
Hmm.
at the content creator who's been creating for probably 5 10 plus years and they're
Thousands of
saying, well, my video
hours.
is not as good as that. And here's the
Mhm.
thing, you can invest thousands of dollars in having a videographer and editor for every video that you create. That's fine. I'm not saying not to do that. But if you are a new content creator, maybe don't do that because you are still going to look like a deer in the headlights on that video that cost you $1,000 when might as well just make 100 videos at home with your iPhone, get really comfortable and confident, and then make the next step in hiring someone to do the editing for you because and to videotape you. That's not the right word. You guys know. Oh
It used
gosh,
to
I'm
be the
so
right
old.
word. It's okay,
Um
it's okay. You don't look it, I will never believe you. I will always card you, but yes.
But yeah, like you need to build your online confidence and it takes time and you have to let yourself be a beginner and children are so much better at letting themselves be beginners than we are as adults. And I think that if you are not learning something new right now, or it's been a long time since you've taken on a new venture or activity and let yourself be a beginner, then you're going to have a harder time showing up with video content. But if you just take that beginner's mindset where everyone is learning and growing, no matter which stage of life they're in, no matter how old you are, you can always learn something new, then you're going to be happier with the outcome of everything that you create. And this is a long tangent on basically show up, guys. Show up.
Seriously. You heard the spice in
Yeah.
Candace's tone, okay? She got me
I'm
riled
I'm
up. I wasn't
passionate
riled
about
up. I
this.
know. I know, which tells me we're doing what we are meant to do. Oh, I know. Please, people, we will broken record this to
Please.
death until you listen and it sinks in for your own good, kicking and screaming all the way to your bank account,
All the way.
which is full. You're welcome.
You're out there building your personal brand and you also have a team relying on you. But if your people don't know how to fish for themselves, the burden of new business always falls on you. Ouch, no thanks.
The opportunity we see, teach your team how to generate their own business.
The result, more time and energy back in your day so you can scale sans burnout.
Amplify by Not Nice, Clever is the ace up your sleeve, a hands-on workshop full of replicable frameworks and actionable strategies that your team can put in place right away.
Your job? Sit back and let us work our magic.
Even CEOs need help sometimes. We've got you. Head to our show notes to get the deets. #outsourced.
I was listening to a video on YouTube today, Abraham Hicks, of course,
Avi.
and she was talking about how her partner, I can't remember his name, her partner was a coach
Okay.
and had a client. And they made a plan for the client, like detailed plan of where they were going, their goals, everywhere that, they wanted to show up and the big dreams that they had for themselves.
Yeah.
And it was a client who was new to the coach. And they wrote out this really robust plan and the client was super excited, just very energized, like this is who I am, this is where I'm going. I'm so stoked to do this and started taking some
Okay.
really positive action in the direction of where they're going. And the container in which they were working ended. And they kind of went back into their friends and family and they were like, hey, this is the plan. This is what I'm doing. And their friends and family were like, what? You're doing what? Well, you were a Spanish teacher yesterday. I don't think that you can, whatever, host your
Mm-hmm.
own course. Like I don't think you're qualified in doing that because you only know how to do this one thing. And there was a
Right.
lot of doubt and a lot of hesitation in their friends and family because their friends and family had a background of who that person was, but the coach just saw where the person wanted to go and made a plan for where they were going, not the past 30 years of their life. They
Mm-hmm.
didn't care where they came from. Like where they came from maybe informed why they want what they want.
Right. And how they'll market and position themselves, but it's not limiting them.
It's not limiting them. And so many people, probably you included, Clever Crew, are letting the people in your immediate circle just continuously remind you of who you were rather than let you grow into who you are becoming. So you got to surround yourself with people who see the future with you, the future that you actually want.
That is definitely a core tenet and mantra of Not Nice, Clever, of the pillar of manifesting. If you want to have things that have never been in your life before, Be around people that have a little bit of it, that want it for you, that believe it, that see it with you together and don't doubt you. No, this was a very big tangent, but I'm here for it. They need to hear it. Sometimes, no, you guys, okay, crew, y'all, we like most of the time have an idea of what we're going to talk about, of what these episodes are going to be about. We want it to be valuable. We want it to be memorable, right? So you listen and you take action. But also sometimes we just fucking channel some shit that you need to hear. And I can tell
Hmm.
like this needs to be heard right now by so many people because, yes, we understand growth is painful, it's uncomfortable, it feels isolating, it's so doubtful, it's all these things. And it's like a little bit less that if you're with somebody who's like
Yeah,
got your back, who's a little
it
bit
is.
farther, who maybe isn't a little bit farther than you, but at least believes that you can go to wherever the hell you want to go.
Hmm. So important.
Find those fucking people. Okay, what was our original plan on
I
this
think our
episode?
original
All right.
plan is we were talking about how personal branding helps
Mm,
your business growth.
yeah.
And
Well,
then
it also
I just
changes
got
your
off on
life.
like, yeah, I don't even know what I got off
Yeah.
on, but you got to build your personal brand, y'all. And we did have 5 key things you should be
We
thinking
did.
about. So maybe we should
There's
try to get back to it.
let's get back to that. Okay, we got through two before we took everybody to church. Okay. Third one, gaining trust and credibility. Ooh, this is great. I don't
Hmm.
care how many awards you have if I can't tell that you have them by Googling you, because that's how people vet each other this
Hmm.
day and age, especially millennials and younger, because I don't know about y'all. Wait, Candace, do you pick up phone numbers you don't know?
No, never. Not even a
Okay, there we
chance.
go, people,
Never.
right?
Hmm.
Your clients, your potential customers are not going to call you back if they don't know who you are.
I'm probably not even picking up numbers that I do know. Sorry, guys. I'm just saying, like, text me. I don't know.
Text me or DM me so I
DM
can
me.
verify who
Yeah,
the hell you are and
exactly.
decide if
And
I
what do
actually
you want
want.
to talk about? Because I don't know if I'm
Right.
prepared to talk about that. Let me know.
Yeah.
But you're so right. I'm not answering my phone to a number that I don't know. Definitely not.
Absolutely not. And in fact, when I have a number that calls me that I don't know, I immediately Google it. And I'm like, who the
Oh,
hell is this?
next up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I go, my Scorpio rising just immediately. I'm like, detective, what's going on? But okay, so tying this back to personal branding and business growth, the more easily seen you can be, the more visible you are, the more that people can find you in all the places and that you look the same in all those
Mm-hmm.
places and that you're saying kind of the same things. Oh, and that you've also been saying it consistently for at least longer than a year,
Yep.
huge in building trust. I might actually pick up your phone call if I can see all of that
Yeah.
about you online. We don't live in the same city. I'm maybe relocating to your city, or maybe I just found you. But if I can't figure out all of that for the Google search,
Yep. And when people see you working with people that they already know, like, and trust, like, I'll give you an example. So recently I got to had the opportunity to write an article for the close.
yeah, you
And
did.
and so check it out, y'all. I'll drop it in the show notes.
There we go.
Anyhow, I had the opportunity to write an article for the close. And the reason that that came about is I was on a webinar for my friend Shane, who wasn't my friend at the time. I was just on his webinar in front of a bunch of people talking about branding. Shane already had a partnership with the close. And when the close was looking for more people, they were like, "We saw you, Candace, and we saw that you're friends with Shane and you did a video with him." Like, or they saw a video of that he posted of me from that webinar.
Hmm.
And we love Shane. We partner with him on XYZ, and we would love to partner with you on these other things. And so my online relationship with Shane, because of video content and who was tagged as collaborators on that piece of video content,
Hmm.
allowed them to see my credibility and then ask for these, next things in our partnership. So it seems like a weird web, but I always know that when I show up with other people who are respected in the community, I get access to more opportunities. And that's not by accident, it's by design.
Yes. That is one of the broken record phrases I love to say is that, we want you to live your life and build your brand and your business by design and not by default. not have it
Mhm.
assigned to you, not be at the mercy of the market conditions or your network's mindset, whatever it might be, which, oh, look at that. Beautiful segue. The fourth point is networking opportunities, which is similar to how you were associated with somebody who was credible to a
Mhm.
digital publication. And because of your outreach and your networking, I mean, so much has come from my own networking. Just, I go back and forth on this, and like, I think it applies in multiple situations. Yes, it's what you know, it's also who you know, it's also what you do with it. And I think networking opportunities, who you know, and knowing what to do with those opportunities is the magic sauce.
That's key. It's because it's not just who you know. Because sometimes people are like, "Oh, can you introduce me to Ryan Serhant?" I'm like, "Well, what are you
What's your
gonna
ask?
yeah, what are you going to give? What are you
Right,
bringing to the table? Why would he want to entertain this
right.
conversation? Because if you're not gonna come at me with that, then I'm not just gonna
It's a
send
waste
an
of all of our
email
time.
intro. Like, it's yeah, this is not a reciprocal relationship that can be
Hmm.
fostered. And like, what would I see if I just Googled you? You know, so you have to bring value. And I know that is an overused term, but like, why would someone want to connect with you? If you don't know, they definitely don't know.
For sure. The last one I love because I feel like even across industries, it's a question that comes up. You get started, you're excited, you're launching a new business, you are a service professional or you're offering a product, whatever it is, and you start at a certain rate and you do a certain amount of work for a certain amount of income. But then
Mm,
as you continue to build your business and leverage your brand and gain experience, you start to realize you can do more in less time because you're getting better at it. And then you start to wonder about scaling and the question of how do you charge more or command the perception of a higher rate or higher fee or higher retainer, whatever it is, or a higher, in the case of real estate agents, a higher list price, right? A higher price point. Personal branding, for all of the reasons that we've mentioned, the associating yourselves with people who have greater networks, more strategic networks, more credibility than you, allowing them to get to know you, allowing yourself to be accessible, right? You're not gatekeeping, you're not hiding anything, and being intentional and strategic in everything that you put out there commands a higher value, whatever value you want. If you know that number, then you just reverse engineer. Okay, what's the messaging? What are the visuals? What do I need to put out there? Right?
yeah. I think when you're on your personal branding journey, you will also discover that you are meeting people who have just decided that their knowledge and their expertise and their experience is worth whatever number they assigned. And they've just made that their non negotiable. And if you don't want to pay that, then bye. There's sure, go ahead and work with someone else.
No harm, no foul. Yeah.
No harm, no foul. Yeah. This is my non negotiable
Yeah.
rate. And that's that.
And by the way, for everybody listening, whatever you think your rate is, you need to at least double it. Except for when you're working with us because, like we're the
Right.
besties in the
I
cover
I
crew.
tell that to everyone that I hire who I think is like their rate is not what it should be. I always
Uh-huh.
say, "Yes, send me the contract." And then I sign the contract and then I say, and by the way, for all of your next people, this is for sure not enough." I
Yeah,
always tell them that if I mean,
for
it's yeah.
sure. And of course, it's easy for us to say, right? Because we're on the outside looking in. I even
Yeah.
have some of those conversations. We even have them sometimes.
Oh
We're like,
yeah, at every level, you're always going to
we need
have
to
that
up that.
conversation. Yeah.
Exactly. There's
Yeah.
never an end point. I still just remember my first hourly job when I wasn't like working as a busser or like a runner because that you like work for tips. But like my first hourly job, I was in after school daycare center in
Mhm.
the Bay Area. I was making 5.75 an hour, Candace.
Yeah, I know. I know. It's crazy.
5.75.
Yeah.
That's more than my coffee order now. And I don't even think about it.
I know for a whole hour of work. Mhm.
Right. Journeys are great.
Yeah.
So to recap,
I feel bad because I feel like we talked about so many things today and I don't know if it landed with you, clever crew, but I've just been experiencing so many conversations that I feel like maybe you're the only maybe you think you're the only one. And hopefully what you got from Kat and I's conversation today, my like potentially mini rant, is that you're not alone in your feelings about growing your personal brand. If you feel like you're not sure if your message matters or your story matters, or you aren't sure if you deserve to take up space, I just want you to know that you do. And the only person that gets to decide that is you. It's literally a decision. I'm going to decide to intentionally take up space. I'm going to decide that my story matters. I'm going to decide that what I have to offer is actually valuable and impactful to people. And once you do that, you're going to see growth in your business. Thanks for joining us on Not Nice, Clever.
Remember to follow our podcast wherever you listen to audio.
And if you found today's episode valuable, please share it with your friends.
No gatekeeping here. Remember, we love to see our clever crew grow.
Signing off, you're not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.